What's going on, y'all? Jamie Alexander here. Welcome to Sassy Chat. This is something I thought was really important to put together because you know me, I'm a life coach creator of Sassy. And I just love what the Sassy method stands for, what I got going on. It is for men and women. I'll explain later. But I feel like there's a lot of topics I want to address and chit chat about on my Sassy Chats. And today I have a friend with me, my guest from Ready to Love Miami, Randall Scott. What's going on, Randall?
Not too much. I appreciate you for having me today.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. I think you and I are pretty aligned in a lot of the stuff that we think when it comes to this whole gender war situation. I hate even using the term gender wars. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really ridiculous, but we named this the truth about gender wars, or really the stuff that no one talks about. And it's become kind of a toxic space online, but I don't even think everybody's toxic. Tell me how you feel when you see, okay, hold on. Let me get to the beginning. I posted something about viral chats. Hey girl. I I posted something about viral chats and what people think real issues in relationships are, which is like height, what men are going to pay for, what women won't do, traditional this, who's submissive, six-figure this and that. And really, it's the deeper things that I just don't feel like people are talking about.
Okay.
So first, tell people what you do, Randall. You call yourself something that I forgot to.
I mean, obviously, I'm a fitness professional. That's my biggest thing. I feel like everything starts with a mindset. So, my saying is all forms of human development begin in the gym. Like, that's the ongoing thing. Some people oppose that, but I can always tell you why. And it's because you can't do nothing without the right mindset, right? Your mindset is what's going to push you through any threshold or, like, allow you to adapt to any threshold. So that's how I like to take that stance, especially when I have clients.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think it makes so much sense. And I feel like we could really use that in what we're talking about today, because I kind of believe the same thing with the Sassy method. Everything that I teach being a life coach and that I share is really showing people how to become themselves.
Right.
And not because you don't know how, but we have put so many barriers in the way in our mind, the way we think we're being perceived, the way that we think we're supposed to be in all of these things. And it's really getting us caught up. So when it comes to some of this stuff, what do you think about the dating climate right now? Like, just from a man's point of view, you were on a dating show, just in general, what do you think about our dating climate right now, especially Black men and women?
I mean, I feel like it's not as bad as what people think it is, in my opinion. And you know me, I'm always like to be devil's advocate, right? And it's actually, I think we can actually be in a good space. I feel like the internet and social media is spinning things for entertainment, and people are taking it personally. And that's what makes it seem like dating is really bad. It's just causing traumas.
I completely agree, because I be looking at stuff like, I'm not going through this. This is not what my dating experience is. It's not perfect, but I've never encountered a lot of the stuff that we're discussing. So how do you think, what's the number one issue you feel like, and maybe not even issue, what's the number one thing that you feel like you're coming across in your dating life that is not working for you with women? What's going on?
I can use this word because I love to use this word, and I use it for both genders too. So let me throw that out there first, but it's entitlement. Entitlement is the word that I want to use. All right. And it's thick. It goes through both, though. I don't feel like it's a gender thing, it's a person thing. And people throw out a lot of stipulations and how they want things to be or they perceive things to be, and they're not even in that place themselves. So I feel like they're using a lot of this logic to how what's the other word people like, accountability, to avoid that. You get what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I see in today's like state. But what I also see is, you know how you have a representative, and typically when you have a representative, it's like a person portraying like what you want in a good way. But now I think today with the internet, image is so like perceived at a high rate that people are giving a representative to what society wants, right? So they're asking for a bunch of things that they don't really care for per se. And when you get them like in a one-on-one, like a really, really intimate state and they really, really like you, none of that stuff matters. But before that, they trying to give you what the society wants and they giving somebody hell.
How did we get here? Because you made a good point. You're like, okay, this goes for men and women. And I agree. Obviously, you date women, I date men. And I think it's really easy for both of us to see some of the things that you shared within ourselves and in other people. But
Right.
what are we missing? What do you think is the reason why people are fooled and desiring to put their representative first? Like, where do you think that comes from?
Fear, obviously, that's one. A lack of confidence in with yourself. That could be a big one. Um, like if you're not like truly satisfied for who you are, you put a lot of energy on like turning another person down, if that makes sense. And you're forgetting what dating is really about. Ultimately, we're here to figure out where we can go. Right. That doesn't mean it has to be perfect or we're right for each other, but we're not even giving each other the opportunity to figure that out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think you and we had some chit chat one day that inspired me to talk about, or to at least ponder entitlement versus, and the other side of that coin being sacrifice.
Right.
Because, you know, I'm willing to bet at some point I've probably come off as entitled
Sure.
to, you know, men that I've put myself in space to date, which I get and I understand. But sometimes I kind of feel like in order for us to get to a space that we've never been, which is whoever you decide to be with, like there has to be sacrifice involved. And I'm finding a lot of times it's challenging to see or feel that. Maybe I'm thinking it's too early, or maybe it's whatever, but it's like what I've had men kind of bite back when I talk about sacrifice, like for what did it? And I'm thinking to myself, well, like, yeah, like if you're going to be with me, like some of the stuff that you used to do that you might have loved, you're going to have to do something else that you love better if you want something different. And the second that I feel like I have to say something, it now becomes like I'm entitled. So how do you feel about sacrifice?
Sacrifice is cool. You have to have sacrifice for any relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like I said before, there are no two things in a relationship that don't mutually benefit, right? So you have to sacrifice and compromise, better yet, for both of you to be happy. Now, when you're in a space where you figure that you don't have to sacrifice or compromise, that's where the entitlement comes in. Like this is how I am, and you just have to deal with it, and that's happening a lot in this world.
Yeah, I have to agree. And you know, it's a tough one. Um,
Now, delivery is another thing too. So, like,
yeah.
there's so many variables, right? And then, like, if you have an equation and 1 + 2 is 3, but as soon as you start to average, like 1A, it get plus, the sum changes. So you do got to put that in the air too. Like the wrong delivery will destroy everything. You get what I'm saying? No one is listening to a bad delivery. I don't care who you are.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I definitely have to agree. You know, they say, what is it? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We be
100%.
trying with the delivery. We be trying to, you know, make it work.
Yeah.
Um, I really feel like when I watch a lot of this stuff, and you touched on a lot of it, especially, so first of all, with my STASI method, it stands for self-love and mastery, accountability and alignment, spiritual wellness, supplanted, which means to supersede and replace, and your why. And this is why I tell people, I mostly coach women, but I have coached men because I feel like a lot of the men I'm around are genuine about wanting to be in a healthy and loving relationship. But in order to do that, like we all have to get to the root of what is not working. Like,
Mhm.
for example, one of the things that I wrote down that I discovered about myself that I can see has not been working in my dating life is these kind of like parental wounds, if you will. And in the Black community, I feel like we don't want to say nothing about our parents because they raised us, they put in their best effort, they deserve, you know, all of these wonderful things. But that doesn't mean that the way that they loved you and what you learned and what you got, what you needed, and it made sense to you. Like some of it was, I guess you could say, injuring, even if they didn't mean to, you know what I mean? Like it's the way you take things and the way you see things. But people would always tell me, so I've been amazed. Both my parents are amazing. When my dad, he's amazing. Everybody would be like, oh, you got to find a man like your dad and this and that. And then that's kind of what I gravitated to. Very, very grounded men who have a good mind on their shoulders, and they portray themselves. Sometimes it's representative in a particular way. And I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, this is a man who I would listen to. But I've recently discovered that that's not what I like. And that's not what I want. Mm. And I couldn't see that until some other situations like, brought it to my attention and awareness. So it's like, without that, how have I been showing up in my dating relationships if I didn't even know I wasn't being true to myself while I'm choosing?
Right.
I don't know. I need people to be thinking about that first. Like, what's your relationship with your mama? Like, how do you relate to your sisters and aunties? Like, your father being there or not? Like, did you get what you needed? And are you just drawn to people because it's familiar or because that's what you really want?
See, but you're touching on all inside trauma. So I think it's a little deeper than that. But yes, okay, like looking at the family dynamic, that's a thing. But like I can't like hold everything that you've went through against you. Right. You get what I'm saying? Because like you could like not have your father in your life and like it's triggered you in a positive way opposed to a negative way, right? Like you've learned how to communicate better outside of the house and you've met with father figures or surrogate fathers who've taught you things that your father probably wouldn't even taught you in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. So it just depends on what type of person you are at the end of the day. I feel like that's really comes down to is who you are, not your circumstance. You get what I'm saying? Like if you take the body, for instance, like the sole purpose of the body is to survive, right? So if you think about it like that, like your brain does everything so your body can survive. Mm-hmm. That means you can withstand or adapt to any environment if you really put your purpose to it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like start to do work on yourself. Of course, like, mental health is a big thing now and everyone wants to do therapy, but are you really taking therapy seriously? Are you like listening to apply or are you just going because it's a fad? You understand what I'm saying? So it's a little deeper than just the family dynamic. It really comes down to the person.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I had to bring up the family dynamic because it's the first place we've learned to relate. Sure. So it has everything to do with, I've seen people, and because I'm in this space, I've seen people where it's like, okay, we're dating and everything looks and sounds good. But then it gets to the part where we meet your family and I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see and understand things in totality and why we may or may not be a match. Because again, I don't mind telling my age. I'm 41. Okay. So if I'm saying somebody who, my name means supplanted. That's why I put it in my sassy method. Like supplanted means to supersede and replace. So I live my life that way. I'm going to always put something better in authority, whether it be my mind, the way I eat, or however. I'm somebody who's always doing personal development. I'm always going to supersede and replace. That's what my name means. So I'm in the trenches before it was cool. So if I'm just now figuring out that what I thought I liked and needed ain't it, I don't know. I don't know how many people are really taking that time to understand what you're saying, which is themselves. Yeah. And that's why all of this noise that we hear makes no sense whatsoever.
Or makes it easier to penetrate the mind. Like all the noise is here because everybody has trauma. Somebody's experienced something that happened to them before and they don't like it, so they're trying to protect themselves. They don't listen to what's going on with the person across the table from them anymore. They're just caught up in what hurt them before and they're trying to avoid it, right? So like there's not leaving space for growth. They're taking the growth factor away. They're trying to avoid the mistakes, and that's part of the process.
So Shayna had a good comment. Those family traumas tend to come up later in the relationship. And it's very true. And you know what? It's fine. We all have trauma. We all have things that we're navigating. It's not to blame anybody or whatever, but the awareness
Yeah.
has to be there along with the transparency. And sometimes I find, yes, and our needs constantly change as we grow.
Fire. Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like is this the kind of thing conversations you're having amongst your guy friends when it comes to dating? Like, are you guys really talking about yourselves, your growth, how you love yourself, and how you're navigating dating? Like, what do those conversations sound like?
A lot of people that I come in contact with now, especially when I went back home to DC, they're quick to talk about their dating life. Obviously now, saying I do a TV show and they think I'm the guru, right?
Yeah.
It didn't work for me, so I don't understand it. But
Or did it? You know?
so yeah, people are being a lot more open to me. But I will say, like my friend group, like the people who I am like close with, or like even the group in DC that I play basketball with, like all the time, like every day, and it's like we become so tight, and we're open. It's crazy. The things that they will bring to me in the conversations, like we're already big on human development and getting better each day and trying to figure out what's the next move. And now that we're figuring out, like having a partner will help that, right? I always say like women are nurturers, right? And whatever you want more of, you add a woman to it and it explodes, right? If you want to have fun, like the club don't market to the men. You get what I'm saying? Women are 80% of the world's economy, right? That's not on accident. So whatever you want to be successful at, if you add a woman to it, it'll explode. It's the same thing. So yes, we definitely do talk about relationships. I know I rambled a little bit in our interactions with women and things of that nature. Holding each other accountable, though, I don't think that's there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And before I address that, I'm going to go back to the comments real quick because my girl, Dawn, is in the building and she is a therapist. I love her. She was actually on OWN's, doggone it. What was the name of that show? Now I what was it? Love. Oh my God. Why can't I think of it right now? Whatever. That's neither here nor there. So she said, I think there's a negative connotation to the word sacrifice. But if you say you have to give a little and take a little, that hits people's spirit differently. People get stuck on words. Yeah, you're absolutely right. When you hear sacrifice, people be like, well, I'm not going to be the one to only give up and they're not going, people are tired of being taken advantage of, like all this stuff.
Their delivery is everything. It don't matter what you say. Like she said, words do matter.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's kind of like that word submissive. Some women, I don't mind it. My friends make fun of me like, girl, and I'm like, I'm cool with it because I feel like when I hear it, I understand what that means. I don't need to argue my point that I'm not about to have no man telling me what to do. If he don't like, girl, what are we even talking about when it is your job to choose and align yourself with a man that makes sense for you? It doesn't have anything to do with anything else. But yeah, these words be getting us caught up.
Also, society is based on a bunch of people who died in their 30s.
What do you mean?
Times have changed. Y'all still dating like it's 1920, and you expect to be successful. It's not going to happen. Like, look what you just said. You heard the word submissive, and like you hear your own response to that. That's because it's 1920. 1920, you was good, but you also didn't have any rights. So, times have changed completely. Like the whole dating scene is totally different than it was for our grandparents.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Some people are still stuck there.
Yeah, they are. We are. Again, it kind of goes back to the way we were raised. Our parents are teaching us what our grandparents knew, and our grandparents are teaching it. Like it's trickling down. But we're in a very beautiful space here, especially being millennials. Like I feel like where we're at is like right on the cusp of everything. Right? It's like we used to use MapQuest, but we could also get down with a computer. Like I know both. I know both worlds. It changed very fast.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. I use that same analogy. That's wild.
Yeah, I know.
VHS, DVDs, MP3s, like everything. Like, that's crazy. That's what's up.
Yeah, we went through that. And I think that that's why, I don't want to say everyone's having a hard time, but for lack of better words, what we're seeing exacerbated on the internet and even on TV is we're a little lost because some of the stuff is human nature. We haven't evolved that fast. I mean, 10 years ago, Instagram wasn't a thing. It wasn't here.
Right.
Nobody was posting to Instagram. Like, what? Right. So it's like, so tell me if you think or how this feels. Like, we're talking about that times have changed.
Yeah.
And so everything is different. But some of the stuff of human nature is the same. Like, you dating as a man, do you feel like what is the dynamic you desire to have with a woman? Like, when it comes to marriage and being in a relationship, is her yielding to your leadership important to you? Is how much she makes important to you? Like, give me something.
None of
What's
that
important to you?
None of that is important to me. What's really important to me is how she makes me feel. Mm-hmm. And am I supported? Is she like a friend, or is this a chore? Right? Do I enjoy being, or I just have to? Like, it's so many people I come across and like, oh my God, I gotta go home. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a good. You're afraid to go home. Like, you're not gonna be happy when you gotta go home. Like, it's like those things. So obviously, like, I understand where everybody's going with the, like, yielding to your leadership and things like that. But I kind of don't want a yes man or a yes woman per se, right? Let me be frank.
Yeah.
I want somebody to tell me, like, that's stupid, right? Like, I want your support. You get what I'm saying? And if you can see where I'm going with it and it makes sense, cool, support me. I love that. But at least tell me when, like, this doesn't make sense. I think you should wait. You get what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
Like, it's yin and yang. Is really, when I say 50-50, it means like that emotional balance type thing. And it's never really 50-50. Sometimes, 70-30, right? And then it switches. So it's just more so just making sure I just have like an actual partner at life.
Yeah, it's so simple. And I don't know where it became so complicated, because that's always the thing I didn't get. It's like, you don't want to go home. You're miserable to go home. Like, it's supposed to be popping here. So what decisions and choices did you make that made that the norm for your life? And something else that you brought up that I wanted to touch on, mm-hmm. which is the most important thing to me, is the friendship.
Yeah.
What happened? I was telling my girl the other day, like, I had a dream, and, again, being a little more old school, we used to meet guys anywhere and everywhere. And it was bomb. Like, y'all want to kick it with us? We want to kick it with you. What's up? Like, it was just period. There was no, like, it was just, we like being around each other. Like, you're cute. My friends are cute. We're all cute. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
And it just had an innocent feel to it. And it was a lot of fun. And I just don't feel like I'm experiencing those things anymore. Or even just, so yeah, that's what I had in my dream. It was like, oh, I just, me and my girls was kicking it. We walked by, met some guys, and we ended up kicking it at a house. And it just gave me a flashback to, like, what happened to that? Like, where's the ease and the kicking it and the flow and the friendship? It's like, sometimes even for me as a woman, I'm like, some men are too focused on sex. It's like, hello, okay, I get it. But some people seem to just be focused on the wrong thing, but the longevity comes from the friendship.
100%. And that's the part that's missing. Everybody's giving out all of these propositions. Like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And that's where the gender wars come from. Now it's a tug of war. Like, why would I do that? I don't even know you, or you're not doing it. Oh, you get what I'm saying? It's coming real bad. And what people don't understand is technology has changed the world completely, right?
Yeah.
You don't even have to date in your own city anymore. Like, there's a lot more competition these days. You get what I'm saying? Like our grandparents, they had to date in that little town. Everybody fought over that one girl, and then whoever got her. Everybody else had to fight over. I ain't gonna say the scraps, but whatever was left, right? Like, whatever was left, but they stayed together. But times are not like that anymore. So it's almost like, you either give me what I want, or I'm just gonna hop on the Gram, Bumble, whatever, and I might meet my match in Cali.
I mean, I agree with 98% of what you said.
Okay. Give me the 2% that you don't.
The 2%, which are there really that many options? even if we open up the whole world, I think case in point is what we're seeing is like, you finding the same thing in Miami that you finding in DC, that you finding in Cali, that you finding in China.
For sure.
So I think it's an illusion of choices and options.
You have options, they're just not good options.
Yeah, so it's not an option.
Yeah, you still have like that shot. You get what I'm saying? Like you still have that shot, but yeah, it's not good. I think it's harder to find a real genuine person that matches you. But that's going to take some like really, really deep soul searching and the opportunity to understand what somebody is, and no one is giving anybody a chance to do that.
Man. Okay. So that's the second time you said that people aren't getting a chance to do that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more from like your perspective as a man? Like what does that mean that you feel like people are not giving each other a chance? Like, where is it being cut off too early or whatever?
Sometime in the first dates, like if somebody put out a list on Instagram like a couple months ago talking about if you take your girl onto these places on the first date, like this is not good or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's already a stipulation put out there, and I'm just like, yo, where's the conversation? You understand what I'm saying? Like that's where you're gonna get to a place where you know that you're comfortable with this person. Like the first time you meet, you want it to be super elaborate. Like you're already putting the wall up. You get what I'm saying? Someone does that on their own, I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell nobody what they got to do. You understand what I'm saying? I think people are losing the art of conversation. The worst date that I've ever had was with a beautiful woman. She just had no conversation. I was miserable. You get what I'm saying? So it's like that. I'm really big on that. Me personally, I don't know. I can't put that on everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really big on conversation because that's the only way I'm gonna get to know you. You know, figure out what bothers you, what doesn't. Just get in a place where I can see your body language while I'm speaking to you. Just little things like that. And no one is taking the time to even get into that space. They just like, it got to be 5-star, especially here in Miami. It's crazy. It's got to be 5-star. Like you hear about it all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. That resonates. What do I say? How do I say? I like when a man puts in effort.
Sure.
I'm not the one who's going to come with, if it ain't the top restaurant, it ain't going to, but I like the top restaurant. There's nothing I love more than to put on my heels, all the perfumes, the stuff that I don't wear every day in my closet, blah, 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 and flirt and be treated like a woman. And he's opening my door and pulling my chair. It's like, to me, that's part of the blossoming. So I don't think that, gosh, I wish we just didn't have it so misconstrued on the internet, because it's just like, to me, a certain level of effort from a man differentiates the whole copy paste thing. If you're running through 4 or 5 women a week, I know I'm not the woman for you.
Right.
If that's how you operate, and you're just trying to hit Starbucks so you can, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that, because I understand why people do it, the turn and burn. Like, it's a numbers game for some people. But me, myself, personally, I consider myself to be exclusive.
Okay.
And I'd love to be treated, honored, and recognized as such, because it's kind of like, if out the gate a guy doesn't see that, I have to admit, it doesn't mean I'm for him. It doesn't mean we get married. It doesn't mean, but it's just, it does make me feel a certain way. But it also doesn't mean that if we meet at a gym or the park, we can't have the same conversation. So all that to say is, I think that the assertion of those types of things are coming from women kind of being tired of being treated like just a number.
Mm.
It's challenging for us to lean into a man when it's just like, you put minimal effort because you got another one on Tuesday and we don't know you and I don't know. Well, if you don't know that much, then you should either find somebody else or stay home. Like, there's levels to this. You know what I mean?
So when do you think a person is supposed to get to know you?
Phone conversations and FaceTime. Like, I'm a big phone like, I like, phone conversations and FaceTime. I think that's part of it. And then of course meeting in person, because I always tell people, I'm so weird, but I like to smell people. I need to smell you. I need to smell the man. And like you said, just how do you respond? How do people listen? What is the body language? Like, I need all of it, really.
Right. So what comes first? The conversation, right?
Yeah,
There are a lot
absolutely.
of
Yeah.
people who are cutting out the conversation.
Mm.
To talk, like let's plan dates. You get what I'm saying? I don't even know what you like. I don't know your favorite color. I don't know what you eat. I don't nothing. Nothing. We're gonna show up at a spot. And I feel like that's where a lot of these like crazy scenarios come from. Let's go to Starbucks and stuff like that. It's taking the time to actually talk. That's what I mean. Like it's a process. Like this isn't a quick thing. Like I'm not gonna know who you are just because you're a woman. There are no two women on this planet that are the same. You and your mom are not even the same.
Period.
And so it takes time. If you want effort, then cool. That means I really need to get to know you. I need to talk to you, you know, figure out the things you like. All right, let's find somewhere where we can actually have a conversation. Some stuff, I don't believe it should be there. Like we go because it's flashy and fancy and the pictures look good, but it's so loud in here we can't even have a conversation. So what do we just do? We just
What are we doing?
Right, you know. So I feel like that, like having conversation is a lost art. Conversation is a lost art. FaceTiming, which should boost things. I think people are afraid to do that. So I feel like these are a lot of issues that are happening in the world in dating.
Point made, point made. Yes, I agree. I like the effort. We don't need 5-star every date, but the first date you should want to impress me. Yeah, I feel the same. Like I'm looking for that.
What's it
Just
though? Wouldn't it be with something you like? Like we don't have and I just something that you didn't even know, you know. You said something to me that stuck with me, right? Opposed to I'm impressing you with my wallet. I don't know anything about you. And that's when men start to do it more than one time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's that easy, why not load up? That's what you're getting.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I do think, again, you know, with those words, impress doesn't necessarily mean, oh, he spent $300. It could be, yeah, it really could be anything. It could be anything. You know, people always say that men are simple. Well, I think we're both complicated. Men and women can be complicated, but we can also be very simple. And it's just, yeah, it is the little things. The little things are the big things. And I think that maybe there's something about the way women are speaking and what men are hearing, and it's getting convoluted somewhere right in between that. Oh, you know, being impressive or this or that means this, as opposed to what it really means and what it means for the individual. So it's just like, you're right. The conversation, there's just a lot. We can have a conversation.
We need the conversation because, like, you can say like they impress me, and I take it like what does she think this is? Oh, she just looking for a free meal. You get what I'm saying? Like,
which is crazy.
People really do that though. Like you'd be surprised. Like I just said that men have multiple dates, so women are doing that now. Like it's a big thing. They eating every night, you know. They every event. You get what I'm saying? So they don't even like the guy. So you know,
chick is like, I don't got groceries. Let me find. Oh yes, Sam. Let's do that.
If I don't like you, I'm not going for sure.
Yeah, that's me. I'm not. I can eat at home. I cook for myself every day. Like my time, effort, and energy. If I don't like you, I'm not going. Not for no meal. Not for no free nothing. It's no, thank you.
What's crazy is I don't think women understand that we actually like that stuff. Like
what stuff?
The 5-star dates and you getting dressed up. Like we're very prideful creatures. Like we're going to look who I was with, right? Like we're going to do that. It's just when you make that a stipulation that you get pushback. You get what I'm saying? Like
I do. Nobody wants to feel forced to do anything. Even the energy of it is like, ew, I don't want to now. Like, right. So I get it.
Like, what does she think this is? I'm telling you, it's just a big fight. Like, no one is taking the time to work on themselves, and they're definitely not taking the time to get to know someone else. It's not happening. It's not just my needs; it's your needs. What do you want? What do you like? You get what I'm saying? Like, all of that has gone out the window. Like, I don't know what we're doing right now.
What are we doing right now?
Entitled.
I'm gonna always sit with that, especially because I'm on the woman's side. You
just wrote that. And I'm telling you, like men actually like going out with women. It's like it's the best thing in the world. Like sitting down with a beautiful woman and having a conversation is nothing like it. Like we actually like that stuff. I feel like there's a lot of things that are lost in translation.
Yes.
Like the delivery is off. Like everybody's looking for a fight right now.
Everybody's looking for the delivery is off. Everyone's on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can understand part of why we got here. It's just sometimes when I say things, there's got to be accountability on both sides. And I don't think I'm biased towards women. I feel like I'm more relatable to women because I am a woman, but we got here together. Let's just say that. We
100%.
definitely got here together.
All I know is when you really like somebody, everything goes out the window. Like right?
Right.
We just missing that conversation factor. We cutting that part short. We don't have the opportunity to like somebody these days.
Oh no, you're yeah.
Gotta start somewhere. Like we cutting a lot of the like we all talking about courting and you have to court for sure. But where we going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and why?
Yeah,
Like where are we going and why? Who this? Like, let me get in these comments, Dawn. It takes a lot to get me out the house, so a meal isn't sufficient. Impressive means talk to me and hear what I like, to make an effort and plan. It can be a hike with alkaline water. Word. Like, perfect. Yeah. I'm the same way. It takes a lot to get me out of the house. People think I'm outside, but no. Okay. Like, so the intention behind it, like, Dawn, I feel you. It's big and it doesn't have to be big, whatever.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then, yes, that means you heard me. Yeah. That's the intention of someone who's getting to know you and vice versa. Because, and Dawn, you know what? I know you to be that type of person as well, even with your friends. Like, you the one right there. Because I could say something and then it's like, oh, wow, girl, thank you. Or you heard me, you felt me, So
Yeah.
I know it's out there. I know there are plenty of people who are willing. I was going to say something about the accountability. Yeah. Okay. If self-love and healing and accountability and even Black, I talked to men. I had another show, King Speak, and I just wanted to hear Black men talk. That's it. Tell what do you have going on? How did your growth impact you, or becoming a father, or entrepreneurial, or being an athlete, whatever? Just talk.
Right.
And what I find is, like, even men haven't prioritized their joy and happiness. You guys function very dutifully, which I understand, but it's like, we want you to be happy. So it's like, if these are all new conversations, sometimes I wonder, in all of these debacles online, what men think they have produced in women with the lack of understanding or discussions about any of that stuff I just named. Like, how do you think that has played out in society?
How do I say this? Well, I think that's the biggest problem. Like, first of all, you should, like, happiness is an inside job, right? Like, what you do within yourself to make you happy will dictate where you go. You get what I'm saying? When you involve someone else in a relationship, that is an extension. You get what I'm saying? So I keep you happy and you just kind of make it even better. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's what it's supposed to be. So if you're running into people who are not finding like joy within themselves, like that's the first problem. The relationship is already doomed.
Well, yeah, I find that a lot of men haven't given themselves permission to even explore that.
But this is the thing. Society doesn't really give a space for men to be vulnerable. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of men think that whatever we get, we have to deal with it. And I used to be that way too. I would like compartmentalize everything. I keep everything inside and try to figure it out. And when you like don't speak on the things that's bothering you, you just become like a Coke bottle and you shaking it, eventually the top comes off and you explode. A lot of men, especially in America, is going through that because they feel there's no one that they can actually talk to. There's no safe space to have a nice conversation, a soft conversation. Like Like men want to be soft with their women. That's a big notion that people don't understand. When you got to be hard all the time, like it's like how can you expect someone to really open up and talk to you if they have no space? They don't feel secure enough to be vulnerable with you. Where's it going to go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, I feel like a lot of the problems have to do with these societal constructs
For sure.
that over everything is what I'm seeing doesn't fit anymore. I really don't even think it's like men versus women at all. I think it's that we've grown beyond who we've known ourselves to be. And now it's time for everybody to be real, for real. And nobody knows what to do.
Right. And that's exactly what I said. Society is created by people who died in their 30s. This is not the 20s anymore. We have actually evolved fast. Things are different. Exactly what I said in the beginning. 100%. And no one does know right now. Everyone is lost right now. No one knows where to go. And they're just giving out a bunch of fake philosophies that don't work in today's age. And so we're just in what you call that place where it's just like nothing. Like you're just sitting there.
Like a void.
Yeah, you just hovering. Like,
I don't even think it was working for people back then.
they thought it was.
That's the whole thing.
There was no technology, so the things that was going on in life, no one can see. Now you can see everything.
Like right here.
Yeah. 100%. You can't leave the house. You can't wake up as soon as you cut your phone on. It's game time.
That's why I wait. Ooh, I'll be waiting before I pick that thing up. I'll just be waiting. I'll just be enjoying my peace.
Yeah. You got TV? You got TV?
Huh?
You got TV in your room?
In my bedroom? Never.
Yeah. I was just asking. I was just checking.
No, because no. The bedroom is not for TV. It's for other things.
Got you.
So let's see here. I put some other things on the list. How far? Okay, it's 42 minutes. We're okay. We haven't even. So. Oh, you know what? This is something that I think too. Okay, I'm gonna say this. For women, I know where we got messed up at. We gave too many of the super wrong guys chances. Okay. Like we have given our heart over to men where it's like, girl, really? Like, let's like for real. And I know that's also where a lot of the demands are coming from, because everybody's like, I'm not going to do that again. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. But we all know it's an inside job because you can't outwardly craft the world to, you know, bend to your will. You got to do that from the inside and then you'll see it. But I'm also kind of learning as the more I put myself in positions to date that men have done the same things. And a lot of us have lacked personal boundaries. Do you find that to be something that is stifling men's dating experiences, not having awareness to their own personal boundaries?
For sure.
Or are they just, you know what I mean?
100%. I've done that myself. I've been the people pleaser at times. I've brought in past traumas from other relationships. You might have did something that made me like we go backwards. Like I've seen this before and I didn't even give you a chance to adjust. I just rolled. Or better yet, I didn't talk to you about it. So I didn't even give you the opportunity to make a change. I've definitely done that a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, that scares me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think everyone is scared to be vulnerable. I don't care. This is the thing. And this is going to sound crazy, but no matter how bad the situation that you were in was, it was supposed to happen. And what you were supposed to take from that was to learn. But when you go into your next situation, it's almost like that last situation had to dissolve. And what you learned was, let me try to react in a different way. Even when you react in a different way, it might not be the right way, but it'll be different than what you did the first time. And I think everyone is just afraid of being hurt, but that's part of the process. Where there's no pain, there's no progress. Like you got to remember that.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's difficult when it comes to the heart, though.
It is, and it does require a level of resilience because you either want to get there or you don't. You either want the life you say you want or you don't.
Yeah, because look, relationships are hard. So what do you think marriage is like?
God, why in my brain do I think it could be so easy? But I understand I don't know.
Have you ever fought with your best friend?
Yeah,
That's still a relationship. That's what people don't understand.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
just supposed to be different. As soon as you start dealing with someone in a non-plutonic situation, it's the same. Like,
yeah. It's challenging. I mean, yes, this is, I be living very pie in the sky in my brain. I get it, but yes, there are challenges. But you know what, too, is maybe because that's like a natural byproduct of relationships, instead of seeing it as something that's hard, even though it's hard at times, it's just part of it. So what do? There's going to be hurdles to jump. Like, kind of is what it is. You can't be afraid of it.
you go on a date, you got to be willing to be hurt.
Yeah.
Unless you're just doing it for fun, like you're not trying to get anything out of it. Like you got to be vulnerable. You have to find a way to be vulnerable. And I know everyone wants to say like you have to put me in a safe space to feel comfortable to be vulnerable, but you can't come in a situation with a wall up and expect to get anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
And that's both.
Period.
That's not just to women. That's why I didn't give a gender. Like that's both
Yeah.
sides. Men
That's
come
both sides.
too. You understand?
Yeah, no, it's both sides. I completely agree. Even with my coaching, that's why I share with people like these are human issues. I know it looks different sometimes depending on, who you're dealing with, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're wired different and different things inspire us and whatever, but
Sure.
some of the stuff is just human stuff. Like the whole self-love topic. I think that is a big one. That's why I start with self-love. There's so many of us, and it kind of goes back to the parental thing, that do not have a level of self-love like you think you do, or your
Mhm.
confidence is put on, or what you believe to be great about yourself, like you don't really believe that to your depths. Like self-love is the root of all of it
Right.
for men and women, and I've seen lack of it in both. Like,
Right.
so I mean,
Human development is everything. Like the time and energy that you put on yourself. What do you do in your free time? Do you read? I remember I posted a book. You read it before I finished. You get what I'm saying? Like little things like that, right? Like, do you work out? Working out is my thing. Like I get up, I work hard. You get what I'm saying? But it's for my mental,
yeah,
right? I de-stress by doing that. I put stress on my body, and by doing that, it causes my mind to go through it because there's always a time period where I'm like, man, why am I doing this? It's 4 a.m. Like I'm tired. I want to go back to sleep. So coming out of those 2 to 3 hours, I'm like a different person.
yeah, every
Right?
time.
You have to put a lot of energy into yourself before you can put it into someone else. Also,
Yeah,
like you say, show up for someone else.
yeah, I love it. I don't know if I'm as disciplined as you, but I definitely work out as often as possible. Like I am, and it's an opportunity to drop into your body.
Yeah,
And for me, it's less mind. And that's what I love about it. The only time I have to use my mind is in those parts where it's like, you got 5 more minutes on this. And then I have to get right back out of my mind and into the body. But back to what you were saying about us being creatures of survival.
yeah,
I feel like maybe in primitive times or whatever, we felt it more in our body because we had less distractions. But now we are so mind focused. I think we've lost the ability to check in with the body.
yeah,
And the body always tells you,
yeah.
you go, even who to date, you've been known. But then you'll negotiate and play and be like, well, I've done it too many times. It's so stupid. My body will just not be with it. And I'll just be like, well, he's really nice and he makes great money and he seems really sweet. Has a good relationship with his family. And I just minded myself into a place where I never should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
Now we're breaking up.
You upset, and you know it's a tell sign when you break up and you're not upset about it. Like you in a situation that you shouldn't have been in the first place.
You know that.
Yeah.
You knew that.
All the flag. The flag. He waving the flag. She waving the flag, and you still in there.
And I tell people the flag doesn't have to mean that there's something wrong with them or they did something wrong. It's just not for you.
Alignment.
We got to be okay with walking away, even in this crazy climate.
Yeah. Because the thing is, with the way that the world is right now, we need each other. So
more than ever.
Yes, 100%. It's getting harder and harder and harder to be by yourself. So, like, we definitely need to figure it out.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're on the right track. I feel like conversations like these are valuable and important. I'm pretty much never going to shut up about it because this is how I live my life. I'm always, I'm going to be, this is it. I couldn't imagine not pouring into myself and being about personal development. This is where the excitement and the joy and the adventure of my life comes from.
Yeah.
So as long as we're out here vibrating and sharing, what is it that you call your life something?
Hey, I love it. High performance lifestyle strategies.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's totality. There's a totality to that.
100%. 360 degrees, like all the way around. Like, you need to be good at everything you do. If you're going to date, if you're going to work out, if you're going to go play recreational sports, you're going to go to pottery. Like, if you make it a point to be good at all of it. And when I say be good at it, I just mean put maximum amount of effort into it. Like, life's going to be great overall. Like, what you put into the universe will come back. Like, that's a real thing.
I believe that.
Yeah. The luckiest artists.
Go ahead.
I got all the lines.
The luckiest people, tell me, I love them.
Yeah, the luckiest people are the ones who work the hardest.
Oh, well, here I am thinking I would get lucky for doing a little less.
Eventually, but at some point, you don't put a lot of work in at some point.
Oh, yes. I'm just waiting for residuals at this point. Like, I'm going to be right here on this couch.
That's part of the process.
Yeah, no, I'm here for it. And I guess last thing I'll say, and this goes for life and in dating, is like, it's something that I'm really embracing in my life now too, is being detached from the outcome. That's not something I've always been able to do, but it was really kind of stemmed, I will say, from like my wounding. I'm the oldest daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm a winner at everything. And when I'm not winning, I'd be like, what happened? Like, this is something, But honestly, it's like, if my perspective is correct and I'm not attached to the outcome looking like the way I need it to look like for whatever little kudos I need in my ego, then it's really all a win and it's all good. I'm not losing from anything, but that detachment has helped me a lot because it rids me of the expectation,
I like that. That's a good philosophy right there.
I don't see any other way to do it.
A really good one. Take the expectation away. I think a lot of things will go a lot further than they do. That's a good one.
Yeah, you open up room for endless possibility. I had to learn that, God, universe, divine, whoever's putting this whole thing together, that knew the rain, the flowers grow, this person's going to eat this grass in order to feed it. If you can do all that, then I'm pretty sure that my life can be orchestrated divinely too. And I don't got it all, I don't got it all together, nor do I need to. Like, let this thing play out.
I love that.
Do you have anything to add? This was such a fun conversation. Like, I feel like I could talk about this stuff forever. But I feel like it was good. We got together to get some of these main points and kind of share from a man and a woman's point of view. And I think what we found is, we're more similar than we are different.
100%.
And
same thing. But yeah, we definitely got to do this again. I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on. I think I want to go to Miami for my birthday, so I'm going to have to call all my Miami friends to come somewhere and cut up with me.
Sure. If you come here, don't tell nobody. I'm going to be upset.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I'm going to be writing like I'm on the plane. What's up? What's going on out there? No, but I love it. And before we get out of here, do you want to tell people like what you do, where to find you so they can lock in?
Right now, you can follow me on King Randall 31 for absolutely everything on all platforms. I am still at Equinox also, so if you're looking for a way to live that high performance lifestyle, that's definitely a place to go. Just give me a email at randall.scott@equinox.com. All right.
Nice. I love it. And I am a life coach, creator of the Sassy Method. And I really teach people how to become themselves because we got too much stuff trying to tell us how to be. And I need you to be real. I need you to be you. We need you. We're all as unique as a fingerprint, and that is by design. So show us what you got unapologetically. Okay.
My
You can
guess.
follow me here and at Sassy Method everywhere. And yeah, we'll come back for some more sassy chat at some point. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Peace.